Next up is a question from Luke Argila, which is very appropriate for this week's episode. He asks, so I've heard you guys talk about how you want Zelda U to be a cross-related game for both Wii U and NX. But why? Wouldn't it piss off a lot of people and also hurt the NX sales since it would be so divided? So I'm going to take this one. My answer to this is yes, it would piss off the Wii U owners who bought the system just for Zelda U, but pissing those customers off is a lot less dangerous to Nintendo than letting a Zelda game this important for the series slip by on a console with as few owners as Wii U has. The plain and simple story is that Nintendo has, time and again, proven that they want this game to be a revolution in the Zelda series. And Zelda is a series that desperately needs a revolution. Nintendo fans may still love Zelda the way it is, but it's getting less and less popular with average gamers by the day. We know this. This is sales data. This is market trends. This is cold, hard numbers. And Zelda is, I would say, Nintendo's third most important IP behind Mario and Pokemon. They simply can't afford for this series to keep losing steam at that rate. And releasing this game on the Wii U, Nintendo's worst-selling home console in history, that's already being moved aside for their next system, the NX, that would guarantee beyond any shadow of a doubt that only the gamers who are already established Zelda fans will buy it. So a cross-platform launch may set off some people, but, if you're one of those people, be honest with yourself. You'd buy it anyway, you'd get over it real quick, and you'd stay a Nintendo fan. So, we really have to look at the pros and cons of this, because if they release it on both platforms, then the con is that some of their fans will get huffy for a little while because they bought a Wii U a little too early. But the pro is that they'd essentially relaunch the Zelda brand stronger than it's ever been in recent memory. But if they release it on Wii U alone, the pro is that they'll avoid some angry online comments, but nothing more dangerous than that. And the con is that they'll be putting the most amount of work ever into a game that's chained to a console that's already proven to be an abject market failure, thereby bringing next to zero new customers into the Zelda fan base and continuing their third most important series down its path to irrelevance. Which would also mean, by the way, that they'd need to do something as big or bigger than Zelda U again to save the series. In short, Wii U is dead, the Zelda series is dying. I mean, I know it's hard to swallow, but that's just the truth. And maybe when they started Zelda U, they were hoping to kill those two birds with one stone, but ever since then, the birds have been flying away. And now, if they try, they're gonna miss both, and then they're gonna need to find another rock. But they know all of this. The new Zelda game isn't their attempt to save the Wii U, it's their attempt to save Zelda, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, agreed on all counts, again. You kind of alluded to this when you said it's the Zelda game that's got the most work put into it, but I think it's also important to underline that this is clearly going to be the most expensive Zelda game they've ever made.
That's what
possibly
I mean.
The most expensive game they've ever made. And so for it to not have a very good shot at making back its investment is not a very good way to continue the series.
Right.
Which, again, is the thrust of your point, obviously, but I just wanted to distill that.
And if we're right about NX doing some interesting, innovative things with its controller and sort of Nintendo using it to sort of branch out to attract new gamers again, that is a great way to revitalize Zelda. If you can get them hooked on this, big, amazing new game because they wanted to try out NX and they got hooked on it, that'd be wonderful. And we saw how well Twilight Princess did with a cross-generation launch. And I don't think, there was really any loss of Zelda fans due to them being angry about the game cross-launching. Right. So I don't really see a few mildly irritated fans as being that big of a con.
Yeah. And while I personally am excited for the Wii U gamepad features, the last thing I would want is for what they're hoping to be the ultimate Zelda game to be chained to a controller that nobody really seems to like.
Right.
So there's that as well.
Hello everybody, thank you for listening to this Nintendo Week Clip NWC. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more highlights and discussion videos from Nintendo Week Podcast, or subscribe to us on iTunes for weekly breakdowns of all your Nintendo news, discussion segments on subjects, games, and more, and tons of other features. Thanks for listening, and we will see you tomorrow with another NWC.